Welcome to episode 7 of the AI Bot Show. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Carl.
I'm Carl Franklin. That's Brian MacKay. He's the AI guy. And I'm the guy who's an interested programmer who just wants to be smart about AI. And if you haven't watched episodes 1 through 6, you ought to go back and watch them. Fascinating stuff. I'm actually in Copenhagen, Denmark right now. That's why I'm not in my studio.
How's Copenhagen?
It's nice. The weather's mild. It's going to rain tomorrow, but it's been all right. So in Fahrenheit, I'd say 65 degrees.
That's pretty good.
So it's nice. I played outside today. I play guitar. I did a little half-hour concert outside, and I got propositioned by a streetwalker on the way back to my hotel. So it was all in all a good day.
You don't waste a minute.
No. All right, so I'm really excited, Brian, about this because we just did a little pre-show kind of talking about what you're doing. And what you want to do today, I think, is the natural evolution of what people want to do with AI bots, which is make their own.
Yeah. So for my work, I find myself creating these little bots, and they're really just text files that are starting points for some type of work. I use them for different things. But there's a process that I've developed where you kind of get the bot to build itself. That's interesting. And then lately I've figured out how to create what I think of as manual long-term memory, which is not normally something that you associate with GPT.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. And, I want to get to that, but I think people would like to see how you make a bot like this first.
Sure. So what do you typically do and I guess you do these for customers, right? You make bots for customers or for yourself or both?
If I was in consulting mode, I would be making these for customers. But for instance, at Roster, which is my company, we had a branding exercise recently where somebody came in and helped us to figure out what we wanted our voice to be. And we got this whole document that says it's for the organization to just have a consistent tone. And it says we're going to try not to use these words. We're going to use these words. And our pitch to this kind of person is this, and to that kind of person, it's that. And it was a 4 or 5 page document. And I saw that and my eyes lit up and I immediately started making a bot out of it, so that
wow.
If we want to generate content, now it's all in this certain very specific tone. And it is much better than just asking ChatGPT to make some content for you.
And, when you were talking about long-term memory, this came to mind. My wife is always asking me to write a book of all the information and not necessarily the passwords, because we have Bitwarden for that, but all of the services that I use and, how to access them, what the websites are, what all the customers are, like have a concise database that she can ask questions of it about the business if I were to expire. It's because she's like, if you kick over, I'm screwed. I don't know anything about .NET Rocks, about this. And man, wouldn't it be nice to compile sort of like the historical memory of an organization into a bot so that somebody else could just ask it questions?
That's a good point. So there's this idea called enterprise search, and this is not really enterprise search. It's almost like a janky version of some of the better ideas for long-term memory for bots. So let me just explain what people are trying to do and what I'm going to show you. All right.
Sure.
So there is this idea. You can't do this with just ChatGPT, but there is this idea people are working on where, we're going to connect to your Google Docs and we're going to connect to your Dropbox and we're going to ingest your data, and we're going to make a bot that can actually answer any question about your company. But it's a hard problem because some of that, you still want to enforce permissions. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be able to just ask me like, when was the last time Carl got written up? That might be in there somewhere, but you've got to make sure that only the right people can see that. There's also,
I haven't gotten written up in 30 years. That's how long it's been since I've worked for the man.
That is one of the great things about running your own company. Nobody can write you up.
Right. Yeah.
except for the whole internet, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That would suck.
So that is an interesting problem because with GPT-4, we still have this 8,000 token context that we have to work with. So how do you fit all of your documents into that? Well, you don't.
Yeah.
This is a totally different topic, but you have to have other services that chunk them up and save them in special databases called vector databases.
Vector databases. You talked about those before.
Yeah, and we're not going to go deep on that, but it's just worth noting that there are really good and interesting ideas for how to do long-term memory with
lots of content
with large language models. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is just like one you can do on your own that's manual.
Okay.
If you're doing nothing but just chatting. So
okay.
So let's get into it. All right.
Yes.
So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to end with memory, but we're going to start with how do we just evolve a bot?
Okay.
And I think what we're going to do is make a bot for a fake company from the old cartoons called Acme Bombs and Anvils. All right.
Yes. Coyote and Roadrunner.
So this is Dillinger IO. I'm just using it as a way to, write text.
Markdown. Yeah.
So we're going to tell it what it is. First of all, Acme Bombs and Anvils, we'll say content writer or just like business, like domain expert.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Domain expert. It's fine.
Sure. Well, okay. Domain expert. Let's go with that. So the idea is we got this company. It's dedicated to eradicating roadrunners. That's from the cartoon. There are definitely going to be some people who watch this who have no idea what that is, but
right. Ask your parents.
Ask your parents. And then this is pseudolang. All right. I use pseudolang for this kind of thing. And that's for programmers will get it right away. But the idea is that GPT knows enough about code that if you talk to it with what we think of as pseudocode, it's not real code. It's just kind of what programmers use to block things out. Yeah, it's like structured data. It's actually very efficient. It understands it better than it might if you just talk to it with language.
Right. And specifically, it understands relationships. Like under this topic, you have these items, and under those items, you might have lists of things. Like it's very good at organizational structure.
Yeah. So we're going to start a little chunk here of pseudocode, pseudolang, called Acme, and this is going to be where we put information about this company. So problem statement. We should put, and what we're going to do is
Roadrunners exist. That's the problem.
Roadrunners exist.
They're a nuisance.
Aim to solve them.
That's evil, but I love it.
And I might put a couple of just general brand things in here, like brand promise, elevator pitch.
Okay.
If I was really doing a company like for Roster, we've got like several different value drivers that are just like how we position ourselves in the market. You can put a lot in here. And the Roster version of this, I've got, this whole bot is, it's a few pages long.
Okay.
We're going to go a little smaller, and I'm actually going to ask it to generate this for itself. So let's do this. I'm going to switch back over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, generate a brief value. Let's tell what we're doing. We are generating a brand guide for Acme Bombs and Ammo, a company that specializes in eliminating the Roadrunner menace.
Okay, this is great.
Write a very brief value statement.
Okay. At Acme Bombs and Ammo, we are committed to providing innovative and reliable solutions to the Roadrunner challenge. Our products embody precision, power, and dedication, ensuring that our customers always have the upper hand in their pursuits. We believe in a world, man, this thing can BS better than most people, can it?
That's better than I would have. It would have taken me a little while to do that. This part at the end is it's just signing off and saying, hey, we don't really want to kill any roadrunners. We like. So we're just going to ignore that part. Take the part that we like and just drop that right here. We don't even need the quotes. I don't even know if we need the comma at the end, but I put it there because years of OCD from being a programmer.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, I should actually probably be using Playground for this so I can edit its own. I'm going to switch now to Playground where we have more control, because what I want to do is steer this thing really, really tightly and remove this part at the bottom here, and I can't because GPT. So we'll actually go over here and say, so to make this work right, this is the system prompt. I'm actually not, let's do this. Let's have it do this again. And we'll say, go write a very brief value statement. I actually like this better. The highest quality explosives.
Explosives, yeah.
All right, great. So we'll take this and we'll just pop it in here.
Yeah.
And now that we have this seed of content that we like,
now you can say, give me an elevator pitch.
Right, that's right. Or we could change this to have a tone that we like. But we'll say, now write an elevator pitch. Don't.
For who? For coyotes, which is our target market.
Yes, and emphasize that we primarily serve coyotes.
The coyote population. The coyote demographic.
The coyote demographic.
Oh, this is too good.
I like making this very formal and corporate-y, but also just having it be ridiculous and cartoonish at the same time.
Right.
So I'm actually going to say, be very formal and corporate, but also ridiculous because this is all based on cartoons.
Okay, cool.
This hopefully didn't poison it too much. If it doesn't give us the kind of ridiculousness we want, we'll change it. And I also want to say, because I always have to take the quotes off, don't actually. This is where the magic is. I'm actually gonna now, because this is now like few shot learning.
Right.
Every time we teach it something, these examples are what it uses as its input. So now we say
so
submit.
You just took the quotes off. It won't use quotes.
Probably not. If it did still use quotes, I could actually start telling it, maybe even in the system prompt, don't put everything in quotes.
This is great.
We revolutionize the way coyotes approach the Roadrunner problem, combining absolute power and sophisticated design. Our bombs and ammo. This looks good. I don't have to read it. We're just going to drop it in there.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, so I don't think we have to build out a whole lot of other information about this, but if it was a real company, you certainly could get as sophisticated as you wanted to.
Right.
All right, now we're going to generate a personality, and we just start like this, and we're going to have it fill in a couple of blanks for us. We're going to have it name itself. We're going to have it. We're going to define a speaking style. And maybe give it some traits before we're done.
Okay.
Like little quirks of its personality. You could even call it quirks.
Okay.
So let's go back over to this and say, if this was a person and had a name, what would that name be? Give me 5 ideas.
Yep.
I mean,
Dudley.
That's not bad for the like the comic world that it's in.
It's
kind of like
good.
Baxter Blast too.
Yeah.
Baxter Blast. What do you think? It's the first one.
I'd take it. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go back over to our editor, and the name is now. All right. So now we're gonna say, How does Baxter speak?
Very general and open-ended, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah, that's too vanilla, isn't it?
too vanilla.
Candidly.
Be wilder
I mean, so
and
let's see.
crazier.
Yeah, if you were talking to Wile E. Coyote as a salesperson for Acme, what kinds of personality traits of the coyote would you appeal to?
Remember, this guy is selling bombs to coyotes. There we go.
Oh, that's great. Wild excitement. The board is on manic.
Each word from Baxter's mouth detonates with undeniable. Okay, now we have to make it tighter.
Right, tighter.
And my mouse
Reduce
is lagging for some reason.
reduce to 3 sentences.
Yes.
Or 2 sentences.
Reduce that to a few sentences. Or you can say summarize.
Yeah. Flamboyant fervor. Akin to a slapstick showman come mad scientist.
Wonderful.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great.
All right, so we're going to say...
That's his speaking style, right?
Yeah, we could do it like this. For other bots I've done, the speaking style was... You know what? We could do more. We could say like tone. Or we could say... I think that's probably good for this. But I also want to say a couple other things like emojis.
Okay.
Use a lot of aggressive emojis.
I think we're having too much fun with the content and maybe getting a little far off from how can we make bots that are actually useful.
Okay. We'll stop with this then.
Okay.
Sometimes describes as actions in brackets.
Okay.
For example. We might go back and tune this. All right. So,
okay.
I mean, I think it is. So the thing about this is that you can come up with an avatar for your business,
right?
Or your book or whatever it is you're working on, you know, like, and I feel that having it be something that is really in alignment with it actually makes it more fun and better. Like it's good. So, we will not do traits.
Okay.
Let's skip that. You definitely could come up with some more things that are traits.
And you could go on forever with this.
Yes. Now we're going to do something a little weird, okay? We're going to have memories, okay?
Okay.
And this is where we start to get into the part where we learn how to persist memories across multiple sessions with a little bit of manual work.
Okay.
So let's just say knowledge, and let's give it we want to give it an example of memory. So what is something that he might know about? Maybe there's a product, a bomb. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. We'll ask it. Give me a brief example of Baxter's best-selling product. Brief
anvils are going to be in there.
Oh, yeah. Give me 5 ideas. We're going to grab one of these and teach it to remember this. The feathered faux fizzler.
The anvil assailant. Snaky speedster sniper. So do you think that it actually knows about the Warner Brothers Coyote Roadrunner cartoons and it's pulling data out of that relationship?
I think it does. I don't know if it's read screenplays or
Speedster Sniper.
I did not tell it that the coyote.
We never said anvils, right?
Well, it's called Bombs and Ammo. The company is, but
anvils were never brought up. I don't think we ever said anvil.
I mean, you could ask it how much it knows. Like, what are 5 famous characters from this world?
Okay, good. There he goes, Wile E. Coyote. Okay, so there you go. So it figured out from the context that we were talking about the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
All right, I don't want Looney Tunes. That's right. So I don't want to distract too much with this, but it is cool to know that it somehow it knows about this stuff. All right, so we're just going to give it top selling product. The Anvil Assailant delivers Acme's promise of power to. All right. So I did this just to give it an example of something that it might remember, so we can do what we need to do later on.
How about remembering a particular sale to the Coyote, to Wile E. Coyote, and getting his endorsement? Maybe
we could, but let's actually, what we should do to get that in here, let us engineer that actual conversation and then try to get it to remember it organically through the flow of the conversation. That's a good idea.
All right.
Okay. Another thing you can do. So I'm just saying startup. All right. So there's no magic here. This seems like I'm implementing an API and I'm writing code. Yeah. I'm really just saying startup on start. I made this up myself. It worked on the first try. Introduce yourself and ask how you can help. So what'll happen is if I now paste this into a regular ChatGPT session, it will pop up, be Baxter Blast, and introduce itself, ask how it can help, and probably drop some explosion emojis or whatever.
Okay.
So I think we're there.
And it will answer questions about products and things.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe we want to change this to be a salesperson.
Right.
Sales associate. You're brilliant.
You are a brilliant salesman. Or salesperson.
Yeah. And if, sales, well, it is Baxter Blast. I think that's safe to say that's a dude, Okay. We can just tell it that it is. You could tell it anything you want.
Not very politically correct, but we'll go with it.
Well, if you could say that Baxter Blast was, whatever you wanted, and it would.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
And it is actually pretty left of center politically when you get into it.
Yeah.
All right. So I kind of want to show also how easy it is to have / commands that do something. So I'm also going to say, this will be the last thing we do. I'm going to say commands, and I'm going to say /order. And this is weird because this is not going to place an order, but it's going to think that it's placing an order. And we'll say, this might lose some people, but we're going to say parameters. The user has to enter what they want to buy.
Quantity.
We'll let it figure that part out.
Okay.
And that's it. That's it. That's all we're going to say.
Okay.
We'll see if this works. All right. So now, I'm going to take this over to ChatGPT. We're going to create a new session. I'm just going to paste this in. We'll see what happens. It should introduce itself as this wild character. That looks like exactly what I wanted.
Dear potential annihilator of Roadrunners.
Oh God, that's good. He twirls his cane
really
studded with faux gems shaped like tiny bombs and flashes a grin wider than the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's great.
Greetings, dear potential annihilator of Roadrunners.
How may I ignite your day with our splendidly explosive Acme offerings?
All right, so now we have to have a conversation. What's on sale? Hello, Baxter. What's on sale today?
Yeah.
This is because I told it to do this. Like going back over to Dillinger.
Sure.
I told it under its personality that it sometimes describes his actions in brackets. And look how well it ran with that. Oh, so look. It remembered that the Anvil Assailant, which is in its memory as its top selling product, is it's a good thing to put on here.
Yeah.
They're even BOGO.
Buy one, get one.
And then it made up 2 new ones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, how can I order 5 TNT time tickers? Whatever
Guys,
it is.
You have a typo there.
Yeah, let's see if it has any idea what I meant. Oh, it figured it out. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at this. To order 5 TNT time tickers, simply say /order 5 TNT time tickers. It's as easy as lighting a fuse. What will it do?
Yeah, right. Jumps with glee, setting off a tiny explosion of confetti around him. Swiftly scribbles down the order on a shimmering paper and stamps it with a bomb-shaped seal that sizzles and smokes.
Now those / commands, this one is nonsense because all it's doing is making it like, have a fun character interaction, but you can make a /
can you turn
command
that into code?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll turn it in a second. I'll turn it into a command that makes it remember things. But we're going to do it by hand first, and we're going to say, I'm pasting this from a real command that I made somewhere else. Rewrite the memories element, storing things you've learned through the course of this conversation. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say sales. I'm going to actually tell it my name first. Actually, I want it to remember my name. My name is Bob. I'm Coyote Bob.
Okay.
Don't forget that.
Okay.
Taps his temple with the dramatic wink. It doesn't really matter what it says right now. It's just playing along with what I said. So we're not gonna. But
you didn't really say anything about the memory element, though.
I wanted to give it more to remember before I tell it to remember things.
Oh, I see.
I should have probably said that out loud. And I'm gonna tell it to use the existing JSON-inspired pseudocode.
Okay.
And I think that's enough.
Okay.
All right, and I'm just going to say go, and it should produce a new memory element with new things in it. All right, so...
Yeah, look at that.
So through if we're in VBNet, it thinks. That's funny. I wonder why you would do that. But the point is, now what you do is, all right, so you have this text document somewhere where you have your starting point for your bot. Anytime you want to use it, you go over here and copy paste it into ChatGPT or Playground. So I just go over here and say copy code, and I go back over here to my bot, and I just highlight the memories element. Yep, and I just paste it. I'll prove this works. We'll make a new chat, and I'm going to paste the new version of this N.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say go. It's going to introduce itself again. We could also tell it, hey, be a little more brief with your introduction.
Sure.
But I'll say, what have I ordered recently?
There you go.
So there you go. So you could teach it. You could teach it quite a bit that way. It now knows my name, my fake name that I made up, and this little bit of memory about So if you were working on something that was, for instance, like let's say you were writing the Great American Novel, and and you're coming up with characters and plots, and collaborating with AI the way that I always say that you should. You could definitely have it very organically save things off. So there's an enhancement to this. All right, we're going to go back over here and we're going to make another command. I'm going to show you how to make a useful command.
Okay.
All right, and this command is /remember. All right, so I'm going to just copy and paste from a different window. This is not quite right. I actually want to take a little bit. What did we say for parameters? The user must enter what they want to buy. Let's just say that.
What to buy. That's what they want to remember.
No. Right. Sorry. Correct. It is actually parameters none. You're right.
Okay.
I got confused by the order one because I have two windows here. This is pretty much right. And I also want to say, I also did this announcement.
Oh, look at
tell
that.
the user to overwrite the memories element in the base prompt with this. So basically, I'm telling them to go back into this document and do what we just did.
So basically, you're with that /remember, you don't have to say rewrite the memories element, storing things you blah blah blah. It knows that now.
Yes. So let's make a new one. So I'm pasting in what we just made.
Yep. Including the remember option.
Yep. Including the remember option, the remember command. Yep.
Be brief, right?
Yeah, I just got a little tired of it. I love the maniacal cacking. So much briefer. That's great. So let's say order 1,000, bullets. Not very good.
Wait a minute. We don't really know what the products are. Can tell them to list the products again.
Sure. List some products. I want armor piercing bullets of different kinds.
Okay.
There might be a point where it says, wait a minute.
Right. Oh ho ho. Beep beep buster bullets. Oh my God, this is Space Jam.
It's great. So order 5,000 Sonic Seeker slugs.
Great.
ASAP rush order. A booming choice indeed.
Prepares the order with the frenzied energy of a mad scientist.
All right, so
now you say remember.
We should be able to say remember.
Yeah.
Cool. And it even announced that we should overwrite the base prompt with this. And there's a little weirdness. Like there should be, you could have two transactions here now.
Right.
Because we have, it already had one in it. And it forgot one, but you could teach it, like never forget a transaction. And it wouldn't. And this is obviously just a silly thing about Roadrunners, but there's some power here. So I hope people find this useful.
Yeah. What I'm getting is, there's a limit to how many tokens you have. So the more memories you store, the closer you get to your limit.
Yes, that is correct. So we could take this and go over to the, OpenAI tokenizer and just see how we're doing. Paste this in, and we can see that our whole prompt uses less than 1,000 tokens, and we have 8,000 to play with, so we're in pretty good shape.
Okay.
So the thing is, when you're working with ChatGPT or Playground, as you work, you are introducing more and more tokens, and ChatGPT, the way it handles the fact that there's a limited context is that, as you put more on the bottom, the things on the top fall off and it forgets things. So I have some conversations open over here where it knows that it's a C# expert and I can ask it questions and it does a pretty good job of remembering, but eventually it's going to forget the things that I asked it about. And it would be cool if it didn't forget the best ones. So with this, instead of having one big conversation in ChatGPT that I just keep open, I could tell it to remember and I could just more efficiently maintain the important parts for longer.
Yeah. This is cool, Brian. Maybe next week we could talk about vector databases because that seems to be where all this is heading.
We can talk about it. That's a little more technical, but we can get into it.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. This is amazing.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in from Copenhagen, Carl.
You bet. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week or next time on the AI Bot Show. Bye-bye.